Hi, very good morning. It's Jim from maverickstar. I am deeply, deeply saddened by the outcome of the case today against Julian Assange for more than one reason. But, I just want to ask you something. Are you not surprised, really, when they lock up reporters like Julian Assange for 5 years in a maximum security prison, Belmarsh, without being charged with any crime, and are going to extradite him, just pending the outcome of a certain letter now that's going to come from the United States Biden administration? They will extradite him, but what they want is reassurances that he will not face the death penalty. And even despite, the CIA director admitting freely in the press that he was going to have Julian Assange kidnapped and assassinated, they are still not prepared to accept that evidence that is clearly there and proves that fact. Because if they did, as they have said in this case today, then it would be a case for Julian Assange to claim asylum. There are powers at work in this world, guys, that are above and beyond the law. That's why the press won't tell the truth, because if they tell the truth, they face the same consequences as Julian Assange, and he is a symbol for those that want to whistleblow and that want to report the truth. Because if it offends this dark force that is out in the world, prevalent to everybody that we can all see, then you could possibly be imprisoned for life without conviction of any crime, and even in the worst case scenario, murdered or assassinated. Call it what you want. I don't think any of you that are listening right now truly understands the dangers and the implications of standing by and doing nothing and allowing our global governments around the world to do what they are doing. Julian's only crime was reporting on 7 civilians that were executed by an Apache helicopter pilot in the Iraq War. It was just one case of many. And because of that, for leaking the truth on his social media platform WikiLeaks, he's in jail and he's going to be extradited. And the British justice system have not just let Julian Assange down and his family and all of those supporters there today in London, they have let the entire British population down. Because how can we call it a justice system when somebody can be put in jail for 5 years without being convicted of any crime? And I will say something else on this matter. Not only is this case a disgrace, but that case that has happened against Donald Trump, I don't care whether you like Donald Trump or not, the principle of the case should be what we're all focused on, as in Julian Assange case. It is the principle of the justice system, which is being mocked at the moment. I understand what it's like to be persecuted, because there are certain entities that don't like me speaking out against certain organisations like the United Nations, the European Union, the World Health Organisation, the IMF, because these are the ringleaders of these dark forces that are causing the death and destruction, and the destruction of not just people and their property, but also our justice and freedom system, that we are supposed to enjoy the rights that protect us. It is those organisations that is destroying our freedoms. And I will say this, if we sit by and do nothing, if we allow it to take place because we might be frightened of persecution, then we know where this is going. We know what will be the next thing. If you're a parent and you have children in this world, I want you to think about the world in which they are going to inherit. Those will be the next generations to come. What world are we really leaving them? Just think about that for a moment. If we do not defend our freedoms and our democracy and protect our justice system, what world will we leave the future generations? We are going to be classed in history as the generation that did nothing and didn't challenge the dark forces in our world because we was too afraid. And we wouldn't sacrifice ourselves for really our futures of our children. That's the legacy that we are creating for our children down the road in time to come. It is an absolute disgrace that our governments are prepared to allow the destruction of multiple industries based on climate change, which is based on a complete and utter fabrication of the truth. It's a lie. CO2 has nothing at all to do with climate change. It is a trace gas, and in that word itself tells you all you need to know about CO2. A trace of something, which doesn't mean it's a lot of anything. And they carry on. I heard on the junk stream media today that they are considering a fleet of electric ambulances. My goodness me. Could you imagine one of your loved ones being rushed to hospital in an electric ambulance and it's not charged and it doesn't have the capacity to get to the hospital? Is that a realistic possibility? I ask you. What next? Electric fire engines? Electric police cars? Just what sort of future are we creating here? You know, with the demand for all these EVs, you have just got to think of the destruction in these open cast mines on the environment in some of these countries, and the despicable working conditions for not just adults, but yes, children also. I've been persecuted, and some of the good friends that regularly comment in the comment section have been persecuted for speaking out on such matters like CO2 and other subjects like these dark forces and these organisations that are not clearly elected and are not, for that reason, part of any of our governments. Yet this dark force has the power, and these organisations have the power to manipulate our governments and our democracies and our freedoms and our justice system. To sit by, and I'm sorry to say this, but to sit by in a cowardly way and do nothing is not the right thing to do. Absolutely shocking and disgraceful outcome of the Julian Assange case today, when everything is there and the decision should be clear and the actions also should be clear, yet they're not. Another sad day for humanity, and a terrible day for democracy, and a terrible, terrible day for justice. They simply are not listening to the general public anymore. They are just using the governments as an instrument to wax themselves rich. And that is why in the previous video I said it is just a matter of time. They won't even look at the magnetic pole reversal. They won't even look at the grand solar minimum, and they will not accept that we are returning back into a glacial period, because right now the sun is shining. They've got plenty of money in their bank accounts. The private jets and the private yachts have a full tank of fuel, and their wine cabinets and champagne glasses are full. And we all put that money in their pocket. Guys, you know, I really want to try, and we're not far away. We're about 29 patron members away from reaching 200, which is a small number considering we've got 60,000 nearly subscribed to this channel. And I know that a lot of you agree a lot of the time with the things I say, and I don't mind sometimes when you disagree with me, because that is democracy. It would be great if we could get 29 more people to reach that 200 mark on Patreon. And that's where all our main information and data is being released now, because we can't talk freely on YouTube. So the link is down there in the description if you want to help support somebody that is prepared to do a little bit of sacrificing in order to achieve the common good in this rapidly deteriorating world. Because I won't sit idly by and watch the next generation pick up even worse governments than what we have today. So links down there in the description. Please think about what I've talked about in this video. Take care of your children. As always, bye for now.